Hello, happy Wednesday. It's June, which means we have lives again. And because I haven't set it up in a month, I accidentally set it up on both of my YouTube channels. That was a total accidental thing. I didn't even know it was an option, to be honest. Um, so if you're watching this from Grocery Addict, this is typically on my fasting channel, and I did not intentionally set it up on both of them. But it kind of works out because yesterday in my grocery haul, I did mention, well, I guess 2 days ago in my grocery haul, I mentioned that I was in the middle of a 3-day fast. I have since broke it and I'm very excited. It was probably the worst time I've ever done a 3-day fast. There have been things, I mean, it's been enjoyable. Like, I'm proud of myself. I'm glad I did it. I did it with another faster in our community, and her and I have connected online about it. So that's been really fun. But it dawned on me today, I'm taking a medicine I've never taken during a 3-day fast. Any men out there, I'm sorry, but it's delaying my period. And it makes me really hungry. It's like an extreme dose of birth control. And I realized that this morning when I took it, I'm like, this is probably what's making this feel so much worse. I knew it was making me hungrier, but I didn't notice it as much until it was a full 3-day fast. And I haven't done any longer fast since doing this. So, I'm glad it's done. I broke my fast at 72 hours and 3 minutes this morning. I had air fried roasted asparagus and a mini avocado. They tasted like heaven. And I'm now, I don't know, a little over 4 hours into my up day, and I've loved every single bit of it. So I'm excited to get into comments, chat with you guys. And it's been a whole month, so I appreciate you guys understanding me taking a break. It does not feel like it was a month ago that I had the last live, but I'm a little nervous because I hear my dog. What is Emmy doing, guys?
Eating a box.
Can we not have her eat the box, please? Sorry. So it is summer break, so we are full house again for lives, which is not my favorite, not my kids' favorite either, but you know what? Here we are. So we're going to get going. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Elaine says, thanks to you, I've almost completed my 3-day fast. I love it and it feels so good. Yay. I'm so glad you've had a good experience with it. That's amazing. And I hope you feel really proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. That's always one of my favorite things, is at the end of it, just being like, I did it. I can't believe I did that. So I'm cheering for you, and I hope you feel really good when you open your fast, and enjoy the up day. Let's see, I'm a little behind. Hi, Natalia. Hi, Darlene. The DC trip was really nice. Honestly, I don't really think it could have been more enjoyable. We went everything from, we got to see the White House. We didn't get a tour, but we went into the Capitol. We saw memorials galore. The Arlington National Cemetery was my personal favorite part. Because I've done a lot of the memorials and I've been in front of the White House, I had never been to the National Cemetery. So that was my favorite part. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It was very moving, and doing it on Memorial Day weekend, just all of it together is great. And the middle schoolers, I had no idea what to expect as a chaperone, and it was just much more like being there in case they needed anything, but they did great. So I loved it. I hope I get to do it again with my son. But thank you for asking. There wasn't anything like super exciting food-wise that occurred, but I think mainly because we were just trying to go to very like food courts or rest stops, things that had options and weren't super expensive, and that the kids, they were responsible. Like, they got $20 for every meal for paying for their things and making sure they had enough money. And so, you know, you can't go like be a foodie in DC with 100 different people and everyone be happy at like unique restaurants. But it was a lot of fun, and I loved doing it. Natalia says, thank you so much. I'm almost 90 days into fasting and doing lots of OMAD and 2 meals a day. Yay! I love that. That's such a good runway. I have a feeling you are going to be a long-term faster. I think it's really a great lifestyle for so many people. And I'm almost exactly at like 5 years. I have no plans of stopping. So someday you'll be there too. I hope you keep going, and I hope you keep loving it. Carnivore Police. Good afternoon, Jackie. Hello. I hope you're doing well. Your meat picture looks like it's the Grand Canyon at first. I think that every time. Hello. I don't know how to say your name. Owls? I'm sorry. I probably said that wrong. I would love to know how to say your name, but I'm sorry. Else? Maybe Ilse? I don't know. It reminds me of my daughter's name, so it's very much tricking me. But I just started OMAD with my friend and so excited that we're doing this together. I think that's amazing to have someone in your like real life doing it with you, or even to connect with people online. It makes it much better. Even this 3-day fast that I just did, meeting up, her name's Shelly. You'll see her in my 72-hour fast vlog. Her and I have met up and it was her first time doing a fast. But even connecting with her, even though I've done many of these fasts, it's nice to have someone that you're in it with. And like when I was having a hard time, I'm like, I can't quit. I got to report back to Shelly. So I'm really glad that you have a friend to do this with. So woohoo. Nan says, I want to connect with someone next long fast. That would really help. Well, Nan, I don't know if you're interested. You're the first to mention that you'd like to do that. I don't know if you'd be interested in doing it with me, like where we talk once a week or once a day, every day of the fast. But I really like doing that with Shelly. I think it'll be fun to maybe continue that at least for the next couple 72-hour fasts, because different people have different thoughts and connections. And I think it would be fun. So if you're interested, I would like to do that again with someone on the next 72-hour fast. Just have someone that we talk and then we make it part of the vlog. Let me know if you're interested. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. $10 just popped up from Sunflower. Thank you so much. You did not need to do that, but that really does mean a lot to me. That will pay for some fun foodie video. I'm absolutely certain of that. So thank you. I actually just saw there's a couple of them that I'm interested in, like new foods came to restaurants. You've paid for that, for at least part of it. So thank you. I really appreciate you. I always feel like very undeserving if money comes through. I love OMAD. Yay, me too, Karen. Natalia says, wondering how you get your energy up for recording all these videos. Your energy always ready to record. Would love to hear behind the scenes of how you get yourself up and ready to record. I actually like that, kind of like a day in the life behind the scenes. And it could be like a day in the life behind the scenes, OMAD filming. I will admit it is a little overwhelming sometimes to make your life your job, because it's very hard to turn it off. Like anytime I eat, I think, should I record this? Should I not? Like if we have meals, the same meals very frequently, I won't turn every one of them into what I eat in a day because it's so similar. But then I'm like, oh, let's go to this restaurant. But then in my head, I'll be like, oh, well, we ate there recently, but this video would perform better. That's like very draining and 100% annoying sometimes. So that is hard. Otherwise, I've always liked sharing with people. And I just filmed how I became a content creator. That's another question I get frequently, is how did you become a full-time content creator? And I made a video on like my road to how I got here. But as part of that, I shared I've always been the girl that would like take disposable cameras to school back when you had to develop film, and I documented everything. And I took a film and video class in high school, and we were editing VHS tapes, and I loved like every second of it. I liked developing my own pictures, and I wanted to go to school to be a photographer. And then I didn't, but I feel like it's very natural that I've liked like capturing and sharing and documenting things. So it's fun for me to do it. It's just very hard when your life is your subject, because I eat daily, I eat with other people, and everything feels like an opportunity. And then sometimes it's like, well, maybe I should just relax, which is why I think I got a little burnt out on sharing daily shorts. I have like 80 different, what are they called? Drafts of shorts for what I eat in a day. Almost all of them are what I eat in a day. And I just was like tired of voiceovers and editing, and I had so much going on. So it becomes overwhelming. That's the part that drains my energy, is feeling like I have to turn everything into content. Natalia says, love listening to all your videos while I'm fasting. It keeps me going, and I really, really appreciate all the work you've done. Thank you. And like to go to like back to the comment of the energy, those kind of comments are very like motivating, because as someone that shares, I get a lot of negative hate, and it doesn't make me feel like what I'm doing is wrong, but it can be like, oh, what are people going to say about this? But when I know that it's reaching people and it's like helping their lives and it brings them the peace that it brought me, then I want to keep sharing. So I do really appreciate that. Hi, Patty. Thank you so much. I really can't believe it's been a month. And truly, I don't think even if I wanted to make the lives, they would have been worthwhile, because with the 2 trips, and then I actually ended up having 2 Wednesday doctor appointments. It was very necessary. And here we are now at school. School's out, and I'm not as caught up as I'd like to be, but oh well. Let's see, Natalia. Oh, you're from Calgary, Canada. Okay. I was wondering where you're from based on your little thumbnail picture. I was wondering if it was somewhere like, I don't know, in Europe. I don't know. I had no idea. But Canada, Calgary, Canada. Hello, my neighbor to the north. Carnivore, please stop doing birth control. Thank you. Very bad for you. Well, here's the thing. I do not like birth control. I know this is going to be a little off topic, but I don't take birth control regularly. This is, long story short, I'm having a hysterectomy next week, and this is to stop my period before that. I don't think anyone wants more details than that, probably, but I do not like it. I 100% agree. I have never liked hormonal birth control, so I don't take it regularly, which is why it's never been a problem these last 5 years. But I am on a very high dose to not have my period because I'm having a hysterectomy next week. Very related. I have very awful periods, so I become anemic. I don't have any other options other than like treating the anemia, but my periods are so bad that I'm looking forward to not having them. So long term, I will not be doing it. I do not enjoy taking it. It's serving a purpose for a few weeks, and it's not a long-term thing, but the hysterectomy is. Let's see. Megan says, do you think taking in electrolytes in an 18 or 20-hour fast are necessary, or just for longer fasts? I don't necessarily think it's necessary. I don't, like, me personally, electrolytes help me to not feel the sore legs, the cramps. I don't have that. That's not really an issue for me when I do only 18 or 20-hour fasts. It is an issue for me when I fast beyond that. However, I do really enjoy them, and I take them, I wouldn't say daily, but I for sure take them in longer fasts. I don't think it's necessary an 18 or 20-hour fast, but if you especially are learning, I think it could be really helpful to have them. Now that it's my norm, I think it could have helped me in the beginning. I just didn't even consider them. But if you're facing things like some people get headaches or nausea, the cramps, any of those can be signs of like low electrolytes or electrolyte imbalance. And it's not just about having enough hydration. It's like the contents and the makeup of your hydration. So I don't think it's necessary for me personally. I think probably most people, especially if you're adapted, but it's something good to have on hand. And if you're feeling any of those ways, to add into your fast. But I definitely, if I'm going over 24 hours, I pretty much always have my electrolytes. Thanks for the little hearts, Elaine. I love your little picture there. Oh no, I don't know what I was talking about. If I covered it, great. If not, let me know, because my memory, you guys know, it's not my favorite part about myself. Hi, Jackie. Glad to see you back. I made it to 47 hours of fasting this time, but I'm still grateful for that. Oh, one, Janelle, that is still a very long, wonderful fast. So I'm proud of you for doing that. And I'm also like, think it's wonderful that people hear and see fasters. Janelle's been around for a very long time, that you are listening to yourself and honoring like what you need. I don't know everything around that, but yes, still be grateful for what you did for yourself, the 47 hours. Don't dwell on, I only made it 47. Like, yes, be grateful for it. And I think that's great. There are times, situations, whatever, planned or unplanned, or maybe it's not the longest you've ever done or the best you've ever done, but still attempting and doing it is better than like, oh, well, it's not going to be perfect this time. I'll just ignore it. So I'm proud of you. Woohoo! Wow, sunflower, good for you. And again, thank you for your donation. I really do appreciate that. You start on Saturday and you're at 96 hours still going strong. Wow, that is amazing. My longest is 120. Is that 5 days? I don't think I ever want to do that. 3 is my happy spot, but I think that's amazing. I've done 100 hours and I've done 5 days, which I think is 120 hours. But I am cheering for you. And thank you so much for that donation. Woo-hoo. For life, yes. I honestly, like, the thought of that is not even like sad or scary to me. And if I would have said that in calorie restriction or Weight Watchers, well, you wouldn't have heard me say that. Patty says, do you break your fast with a snack and then later dinner? What type of snack do you open your eating window with? So I'm going to approach this for like a normal OMAD. Normally, I guess, do I say normally? Probably lately, I've definitely been breaking it with snacks more. I have a lot of snacks from the Sweet and Snack Convention. I'd say typically I break my fast half the time just with dinner, half the time with a snack. It kind of depends on if it's a longer fast. If I want to test things while I'm making dinner, then I'll have a snack so that I can taste and, do that kind of stuff while I'm cooking. But my favorite way to break my fast is with like nuts or crunchy edamame. Like I really love mixing flavored pistachios and flavored roasted edamame and cheese. So you get the protein, the good fats, crunchy, salty flavors galore. So yummy. That is my favorite way to break my fast. And then having my dinner or just going right into dinner. Going right into dinner usually is like if we go to a restaurant or if, I'm busy and I come home and we're having dinner soon, then I generally go right into dinner. But if I have a snack before dinner, which I have zero problems doing that, my favorite is nuts. If I could really, really pick it, would be salt and pepper pistachios with the wasabi roasted edamame, those like mixed together. And then I'd have some sort of like, right now I have a green goddess Gouda that I just got at Trader Joe's that is delightful. I'd have that. That sounds so good. Or like a pepper jack type. I love seeing you guys chat with each other in the comments. I don't know. Uh-oh, I lost all the comments. Goodness gracious, Jackie. It's like you haven't done this in a month. Let's see here. Hi from Scotland. Hi, Julie. Thank you for joining. Elsie. Okay, that's very pretty. I love that. My daughter's name is Elsie. So I kept wanting to say Elsie every time I looked at it, but Elsie, I like that. Thank you so much for putting that out there for me to pronounce. I hate messing people's names up. I do give it my best effort, but I know I mess up a lot. Oh, there's the $10. Thank you. Let's see, Kayla, geez. And here I mess up like a name I am familiar with. Kayla says, I've been off OMAD for about 2 months. I'm having such a hard time making it past 16 hours now. It's so frustrating. Any tips? So my tips are always the following. 1, let yourself have an eating window that you really enjoy. I find that to be very helpful as I'm like, if I'm having a hard time getting past 16 hours, but then I know that the meal I'm getting to is something that I will really enjoy. Once you reach that and you get it, you're like, oh yeah, that was satisfying. That was worth it. And then it's easier to repeat the behavior. Also, if you're having a really hard time getting past 16 hours, I wouldn't also feel like it's now or never. It's either OMAD or nothing. Get to the 16 hours and then extend it a little bit. Get to 16 and a half hours and then extend it a little bit. If you have to take baby steps, that's okay. Like that is still progress. That's still fasting. It's still giving your body a break and you're just strengthening your fasting muscle essentially. The other things, are you clean fasting? I know that is something that, people have very divided opinions on, but I do think that plain water, plain tea, plain coffee is the best way to start. And then you know what bothers you. So If I'm drinking a diet pop while I'm fasting, I know it's going to make me hungry because I know what a clean fast feels like. If I have a fruity element mixed with water, that doesn't make me feel hungry. I think it's probably how salty it is. I don't really know, but it's not triggering me to feel like I'm eating. And again, I only know that because I compare it to a clean fast. If you're not doing clean fasting, that could be problematic and make it harder for you. I'm trying to think what else. What are my other tips? If you get to a part where you're having a difficult time, what could you do that you enjoy, or that's distracting instead of giving in to the hunger? Because hunger kind of comes in waves. So if you get through it, it'll kind of dissipate, usually. So if you get to 16 hours and you notice you're feeling hungry, make a new cup of coffee, pour yourself a fresh cup of iced tea, and then go for a walk or read a book. Or if you're at work, what project could you dive into, or what could you get done that helps you to not be focusing right on that? So those are my tips. Good luck, but don't feel like you have to be like right at OMAD again because you've done it successfully. It's okay to work yourself up to it. Ugh. Oh, cat hair. This cat comes and sits here, and then her hair flies in my face, but some of it got in my mouth. Yay, Nansen! Okay. Email me, Jackie at intermittentfastingfoodie.com, and then I'll contact you September, the first weekend of September. But it was a lot of fun to do it with Shelly. I just have one more meeting with her later. We both will have broke our fast then, and it'll be great. Today marks 4th year of fasting, completed 72-hour fast over the weekend to celebrate. Woohoo! I love that. I love the celebration of a fast, to celebrate your years of fasting. That's so fun. I'm almost at 5 years, and I was trying to think, should I do something? I have to figure out exactly what the date is. I think maybe June 20th, but we'll see. We will see, but that's awesome. I love that. Commemorative 3-day fast. Let's see. Kathy says she's new to this. What type of nutrition, I'm thinking that meant, do you take during fast? So I am very committed to an easy approach. So for me, especially when I started, my focus was just learn to fast. Eat in the eating window, but be very disciplined in the fast. And I have done that for the last 5 years. I have cat hair all over my face. However, has it refined over the last 5 years? Absolutely. Does that mean that I'm a nutritionist or give advice on the actual nutrition you should eat? No. But I've learned the hard way. I can't open my eating window with sugar and feel great about it. Does it happen sometimes? Yes. Like we were in DC and I opened my eating window with a sweet boba because we were all going to different food trucks and I wanted to get falafel, but the line was long and then we didn't see it again. And anyways, I ended up getting a tea, and then dinner was a little later than I thought it was going to be. I survived, but it did make me pretty hungry before dinner came. But I know that that's what's going to happen. So I've learned that for me, when I open it with protein or fats, the two together especially, I feel really good. And then I can still enjoy dinner, but I'm not like chasing all the sugar. Just a moment. Kyle, can you please stop with the ball? Driving me crazy. So I don't count calories. I don't count carbs. I've done things like, I went keto for a month. I'm trying to think if I've done any other nutrition. Oh, I made sure I counted extra grams of protein. I have realized that having more protein in my diet, I do feel better, but I don't still measure it. But that doesn't mean I don't think about it. It's kind of like knowing that I feel better when I open my eating window with it. I try to prioritize that. I'm also trying to like be more mindful of things that are higher in fiber. I have never once in my life counted fiber, but just thinking about it in terms of like, oh, this would be good to add because I know it's going to give fiber. A lot of times, like things like beans give both fiber and protein. So it's good to just be mindful of that. But I eat everything. I don't have restrictions. My only restrictions are foods that I don't like. So mushrooms, seafood, fish. But that's it. My goal is to enjoy my eating window. And I have found personally the best way to do that is to add to my eating window, not restrict. So I can have anything I want, but then I make sure I'm adding my protein. I'm making sure I'm adding the fiber. I make sure I'm adding things. So if I want, say, pancakes for dinner, How can I make sure I'm also getting protein? Well, I'll make a meat and eggs with it, that kind of thing. And I just think that's a much more sustainable way to me. I feel like I'm going crazy with cat hair. I'm apologizing. I know you guys can't see the cat hair, but it's making me feel a little crazy. Back to back. I don't want to do it back to back. Every time I finish a 3-day fast, I'm grateful I don't have another one for 3 months. I like them. I feel like they're great, but every 4 months is a great cadence for me, especially this one has been so hard for me. I 100% believe it's the medicine I'm on because, like I've mentioned, I just have never liked taking it. I just didn't think of that. My dad is still doing mostly OMAD. He does a down day every week and he does an up day. He's actually doing the 72-hour fast. I texted him and I was like, hey, we're doing this on my YouTube community. And he was like, sweet. And I think a coworker of his joined him. He started later than me, so he's not quite done yet. But yes, he still does fasting. Mostly OMAD. Me gusta. I still don't think I want a back-to-back 72 hours. Patty asked, do I do my own nails? They're so cute. No, I do not. So when Gentry and I went to LA, oh no, someone's here. Or there's something being delivered. Sorry, that's the dog. When Gentry and I went to LA, it was the first time I got my nails done in 16 and a half years. So, sorry, distracted. And I thought, oh, this will be a one-time thing. I was hoping to get on the prices right. Obviously, that worked out well. But I loved getting my nails done so much. And like when I'm grocery shopping and I'm holding items or I'm doing what I eat in a day, my nails are always seen. And I got so many compliments. And if you think about it, you don't see your hair, you don't see your makeup very much, but I see my nails all the time and it truly delights me. So I just have kept getting them done. And I really do think they like add to my videos. I know that sounds very weird, but I go somewhere and these last me like 4 or 5 weeks. Now, they recommend you get them done more than that, but they're expensive and it is like a commitment to go sit there. So I just got these ones done yesterday and I love them. It is like my favorite thing. I'm like, this is like, as soon as I got it done, I was like, oh, this is why people get their nails done because it feels really good. And I used to try painting my nails every day, but then they chip like within no time at all. These stay. Let's see here. The home within. Jackie, you deserve abundance. You are honest and real. Oh, thank you so much. Your videos help and motivate so many to get healthy with fasting. Welcome all the rewards and ignore everything else. You were too nice. Honestly, that is very nice to hear. So thank you. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. Trudy says, I'd also like to join the 72-hour fasting group if there is one coming up. I know you just finished your last one. Yes. So if you're new and you're interested in a 72-hour fast, and you don't have to be new to like start joining, but if you're not familiar, I do them every quarter. So the first Sunday of March, the first Sunday of June, the first Sunday of September, and the first Sunday of December. Last year, the first Sunday of September did end up being over Labor Day weekend, and some people wanted me to move it and some didn't. I'm just going to keep it that way no matter what. I can fast over Labor Day weekend, and I understand if people choose not to, but for consistency's sake, it's just easier. So there's not a group. I, at one point, had tried doing a Facebook group, and like no one joined it. And I honestly wasn't sad because I don't really have time to manage or like be super active in something, but it's just a bunch of people saying, hey, we're in this together. And it's easier just knowing you're doing it with others. So September, whatever the first Sunday of September is when I'll start it. And if Saturday to Tuesday works better for you, awesome. If Monday through Thursday works better, it's just kind of nice knowing others are in it. Maybe not the exact same time, but you're doing it with others is just powerful and very motivating. 1 to 99, 100. I have been, I wonder, off OMAD maybe for about 2 months. I can't seem to make it past 16 hours now. I'm having a very hard time getting back to OMAD. Any tips? Well, I did just talk about this. Is this the same comment as before? If you want me to rehash it, I can in detail, but very quickly. Don't feel like you have to go from 16 hours to OMAD or it's not successful. You can. Do the stair steps if you need to. Start at 16, then go to 16 and a half. And once that feels good, go to 17. And then when that feels good, go to 17 and a half until you get to the schedule that you like. Make sure your eating windows are things that you can look forward to, because once you have that very satisfactory OMAD and you're like, wow, that is great. This is worth fasting for. It's going to be easier to get there. Make sure that you know what a clean fast is and what it feels like, so that if you try anything else while you're fasting, you know what doesn't feel good. And if that means a clean fast is what you stick to it, because I think that makes a huge difference if you feel good or not. Those are my tips. And I did earlier go more in detail on all of them. But again, don't feel like you have to go right back to OMAD or you're not successful. When I got back from the Sweets and Snack Convention, this is a video that's coming out semi soon. It was hard. I had 4 days in a row, or maybe 3 days, 3 or 4 days, where I ate all day, and I hadn't been doing that. And it was a lot of sugar because it was a Sweets and Snack Convention. And then when I got back, I had a hard time doing OMAD, and I did it. I just made myself do it. And that was only after 4 days. And I thought, okay, I'm back. Well, then the next day was even worse. My body was like, wait, remember when you had that really great breakfast and then you had Dippin' Dots and you had blah, 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 blah. Can we go back to that? That was what was racing through my head. And I'm like, no, that was a fun, like, short-term thing. But it just took some getting back used to. But I've never taken a 2-month break. So I understand that can be very difficult. Give yourself time. The Home Within, I was fasting for a couple months and found you and discovered OMAD. I'm now 9 months in, so thank you. Yay! Congrats to you. I love that. 9 months is such a great, like, proof of concept. You are committed at that point. You've seen the fruits already, I'm guessing. And I love that you are that far in. One of my favorite parts of DC, and there's a whole video coming on this. I was a chaperone. There was another mom that's a chaperone. She's not someone I don't know at all, but I just don't know her well. And I was eating the Arby's meal, if you saw that, that short. And she came over and sat with me, and she was like, so I have to tell you, bottom line, she started watching my videos in September, which shocked me. And she's been fasting and had lost 30 pounds. And I had no idea that she, even knew I had a YouTube channel, that she watched them, anything. I was like, what? So I thought that was so cool. And so she's just another mom at the school that I had no clue about, but someone had told her I had a YouTube channel, and she looked it up and found it and started fasting. And it's just so fun. But so she had, I think, up close to 9 months. And I was like, wow. So it's very cool. I love when others find the same joy that I have with fasting. Salmia, I hope I said that right. Hey, Jackie. Hello. I'm doing OMAD because of your videos. My question is, I'm easily full at my feast time, and I'm scared I'm eating really less, and I'm worried if I will ruin my metabolism. Any suggestions? Okay, first of all, you guys just have to remember, I am not medically anything, nutritionally anything, nothing like that. So I just need you to know that right off the bat. My suggestion is, if you don't think you're eating enough, OMAD may not be for you. Or maybe you have a longer OMAD. So say you skip breakfast and lunch, which is what I do, and then you have like a really nice substantial snack, wait a while, have a fuller dinner, like allow yourself enough time to be hungry. Or maybe it's like you have a full dinner, but then you have more of a snack at night, and you might just need more of an eating window. I personally have literally always been a volume eater. Not eating enough has never been a problem for me. So OMAD works really well because it puts guardrails up for me. I have the discipline of the fast, a short eating window, but then I just feel free to enjoy it. But volume is never an issue. I always know I eat enough. I don't think OMAD is probably for people that don't eat enough. I don't know. I hope that makes sense, what I'm saying. It's okay if 2 meals a day is what works better for you. You could still have a really, really nice 18-hour fast, have lunch, have dinner, have that 6-hour eating window every day, and get enough nutrition, and then fast again. For me personally, a 6-hour eating window every day would be a lot of food, because I would eat my high volume at lunch and at dinner. So, I mean, it probably wouldn't be exactly the same, but it would be a lot more than probably what you experience. So I just think that it's really important to think that fasting can work for so many different types of people. You just have to figure out like how to put your puzzle together. Hope it goes well for you next week. Thank you so much. I am a little nervous, but also kind of excited. I also feel like I'm cheating, that I'll never have a period again. So we'll see. Kathy says I'm type 1 diabetic. That's why I asked, what is the nutrition you take in? Okay, and I'm definitely not the person to talk about type 1 diabetics because I have no clue what your needs are. But I definitely think that fasting like can fit any dietary needs because you can choose exactly what's in the eating window. You can be as loose as a goose as you want or follow whatever protocols. It can fit in a fasting window. You just gotta, put that mix together. Holy moly, there's so many comments. I am sorry. I'm like going so slow here. Margot says, we'll be praying for smooth surgery and recovery. Thank you very much. Did you lose weight on this long fast? Nan asked. I don't know. I don't weigh myself. So, I used to weigh myself when I was actively losing weight. Then I stopped because I liked, like, when I put clothes on and I guess, like, I felt confident except for when I saw the number, and it didn't really matter to me anymore. Like, why am I letting a number upset me? Now, I did want to start getting into weightlifting and strength training this summer. However, because I found out and then it was scheduled pretty quickly that I'm going to have surgery, I'm just saving that because I don't want to start a routine and then I can't do anything weight related for at least 6 weeks. Stop it and then start it again. I know that might sound crazy, so I'm still just sticking with walking right now until I have like the clear to start weight training. So anyways, so I was like, how did I get there with this? I will be weighing myself more regularly as I'm tracking like my muscle tone with the body pod that I got. I'm actually super excited about that. But because of the surgery and then my recovery time, that has put a pause on it for me. So because of that, I haven't weighed myself. And I don't do the 3-day fast to lose weight. And I'm certain that I dropped weight. I'm also certain that probably most of it will come back. I do think it helps me maintain my weight loss. But I like it to give variety. I like it for autophagy. I like it for just kind of like I feel proud of myself when I do it. And then Shelly and I were talking. When I do 3-day fast and then I go back to OMAD, I'm like, I get to eat every day. This is easy. It just really puts into perspective that like OMAD isn't that hard when I can also do 3-day fasts. So it's a great like mentality conditioning too, I guess. Do I have any symptoms? Any headaches, tummy, intestines? Any aches or pains? Symptoms of what? Like I get aches and pains on my period. I get headaches every once in a while, but not regularly. Tummy, intestine issues. I feel like I have a pretty strong stomach. I did find out that if I have warm milk at the beginning of a fast, pretty much any time upsets my stomach. But that's pretty rare because I know that now and I don't do it. So I don't have regular like ailments that I deal with. That's all I can think of. Now, as far as anemia goes, I did have things that I didn't really notice, like, and actually people had noticed this on videos, and I wouldn't notice it until it was pointed out. I do get shortness of breath sometimes, just talking. And then I think my skin had been so much better with fasting, and then it was getting worse. I think that was the anemia because my blood work was slowly showing it, and then it was like blaring this spring when I had it. So I feel like there were things, but I just didn't realize that maybe they were related to anemia because my iron had always been so high, my red blood cell count so high that I just never even considered anemia for anything. If I go right to dinner, how long is my eating window, Patty asks? It really varies. Sometimes, if I have dessert afterwards or if I go on a walk and then I have dessert, or you know, if we're at a family dinner and I have dinner and then we play a game and then we have cake or something, it could be, you know, an hour and a half. If it's just my family here and I eat everything at once and then we're moving on to go do something else, it could be 15 minutes. So I don't really hold myself to anything. And I just let it be whatever it is. I know that sounds like I probably am making it easier than it is. I legitimately do not care how long my eating window is. So if it's 15 minutes, I don't stress that it's too short. And if it's 4 hours, I don't stress that it was too long. That really gives me the flexibility and just honestly like the permission to enjoy it. So for the most part, I think my average, if I average every single fast I've ever done in all my eating windows, I would guess that it's a 22-hour or maybe a 22.5-hour fast to a 1.5-hour eating window or 2-hour eating window. That would be my guess. I've done the math like kind of early on and I just don't really think it's changed, but it really does vary. So, you know, I just had a 72-hour fast and I'm probably going to have an 8-hour eating window. That's in that math. But for the most part, I don't really care what it is. But if I go right into dinner and we have no plans, it could very easily be under 30 minutes. But I eat a lot in that time. Kathy says, I too had a total hysterectomy. My surgeon didn't do an ultrasound. When they opened me up, they found a tumor softball size. So glad I had it done. Hope you heal soon. I'll be thinking of you. Well, thank you very much. That sounds pretty scary. So I hope you're doing well at this point. I'm having a partial hysterectomy. So they're leaving my ovaries in just because of my age. They don't want to do like a surgical onset of menopause. I don't want that either. And I have had 2 ultrasounds before this, just in the long story short, I have, and I knew this from my pregnancies, I have a heart-shaped uterus. So that rules other options out for my heavy periods, which is causing the anemia. But ultrasounds were used to kind of rule those out and to confirm. So I don't think there will be any surprises in there. She did say the biggest surprise that she finds is if women have endometriosis and they don't know that, that can make the surgery more complicated. So we'll see. Here's the other thing. I'm actually really excited about this. She's going to take a picture of my uterus. I want to know what it looks like. I know it's probably weird to some people, but not to me. I want to see it. Let's see. Oh. Wowzers. I have so many that I'm behind. I'm sorry. Miss Lady Winter said, what's it like when your family has a meal and you don't? Do you do something else? Do you sit there and watch? Just wondering. So it kind of varies. So yesterday was actually like a little more of a tease than normal. Elsie had her middle school awards ceremony. She got fabulous awards. So proud of her. And we always go get ice cream afterwards. Like literally anytime there's an award ceremony or a school performance, it's just something fun that we do. And I like that kind of fun. So I didn't even think of it. And I was like, oh, dang it. When my son actually brought it up and I was like, yeah. So then we went and got Culver's ice cream and I felt a little left out. And it wasn't even that I wanted the ice cream. I really wanted a butter burger when I walked in there and ordered the ice creams. But it was just like, that's one of the things I love about fasting is it does, like, I don't feel excluded. I can literally move my eating window to the things that are important to me. Yes, a 3-day fast kind of puts a wrench in that because it's harder to move an eating window and encompass 3 days when you're really busy. So I felt a little left out. Normally, if I'm not eating meals with them, it's food I don't really like. So then whether I'm around or not, it doesn't matter. But earlier this week, obviously there were 2 dinners I didn't eat with them. One I made, one my husband made. When he made dinner, I went to the park with my son and my son ate like what was made for dinner when we got back. So I went walking. I wasn't even around. Yesterday I did make dinner and then I went on a walk I made dinner and then me and Elsie had to leave earlier to go save seats at the awards night. So then we just, like, Elsie just scarfed it down really quick. But a lot of times I do end up going on a walk. Even if I make the dinner, I'm like, I'm going to go on a walk. It doesn't really bother me, especially if it's planned and it's just a single day that I'm fasting. And then like during summer, I could care less about lunch and dinner. or lunch and breakfast. Unless it's going out to eat at a place that I really like, eating lunch and dinner does not bother me. Like we'll go to family events and I'll just sit there with coffee and be happy knowing that dinner's coming. That's one of the reasons that dinner is so like important in my OMAD is I have it to look forward to. But yeah, I sit there a lot and just talk with them or go on a walk. Those are probably the two that I do the most. My cardiac doctor placed me on a 12-hour minimum. If sometimes I go much longer. 24-hour minimum intermittent fasting. Sometimes I go much longer. Wow, that's actually really cool to hear that your doctor is putting you on fasting. I haven't heard many doctors encourage it as like, I think it's just kind of unknown. It really depends on what doctor you talk to. I've talked to doctors that were kind of not very cool about it. But I have seen so many health benefits, and I hope you find them as well. Susan says, thanks for sharing from Asheville, North Carolina. You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Susan. What day is your 72-hour fast? It is Sunday through Wednesday. Everyone picks their own hours. Also, you can shift the days, but I always do it the first Sunday of March, June, September, and December. And then I go, really my times vary. It just depends on the day, but I always make sure there's enough time on Wednesday to have at least a 6-hour eating window. Now have insomnia and joint pain. Any tips, please? Thanks. So joint pain, I would be very curious if it's low electrolytes. And yes, I'm sponsored by an electrolyte company, but no, that's not why I'm saying it. I would get very sore like legs when I was fasting, and electrolytes helped me. And honestly, it was comments in my YouTube videos that are like, you should add electrolytes. And that I only get that if I do longer fasts, like over 24 hours is when I start to feel that. Other people say they get like headaches and nausea. Electrolytes have helped me with that. Also, I don't know your age, but the older I get, the more I realize stretching helps me to not have joint pain. That has nothing to do with fasting, but it's true. And then insomnia, I have no tips for that. I actually sleep pretty good. I had one day of insomnia recently that was horrible where I literally couldn't fall asleep. It's never happened to me in my entire life. I stayed up the entire day or the entire night. So I was awake all day, awake all night, awake the whole next day. That's only ever happened once, and that was 100% stress related. But I don't normally have that, so I don't have any issues. I know some people take magnesium right before they go to bed. Is that perfect for fast? I can't say it is. But if it helps you sleep, I'd rather get my fast and sleep and have it be slightly imperfect than not. So that is one thing. I know some electrolytes have magnesium in it, but like Elements is only 60 milligrams magnesium, not the same as a full capsule of magnesium. So that could be something helpful. But I really don't have any insomnia advice for you. When I do longer fasts, I do have a hard time going to sleep sometimes. I had no issues this time, but sometimes I'm like wide awake with energy and I just stay up late, try to get more work done. It's quiet then. Let's see, JD, what do you do when you get trigger and cut your fast? I'm pretty strong-willed and hard-headed, so I don't really get triggered to where I cut my fast. Literally, there was one time that I can think of. I was doing a down day, and then we picked up Little Caesars, which I don't hate Little Caesars, but hello, there's so much better pizza out there. And we get Little Caesars regularly. I don't know why. I just was like, I don't want to do this down day. I want to eat Little Caesars. So I said, screw it. I was like, it was the evening of my down day. And for whatever reason, I ate the Little Caesars. And I was so pissed at myself that I did that. It didn't even, like, I didn't feel good. And then the next day wasn't going to be an up day anymore. And I was like, why in the world did I do that? So that was like actually a great lesson. I gave in that small moment, and it did not provide me anything other than like anger. So that has actually been really helpful. I do not give in very often. The most that I do give in, but it's not like, I don't even feel like it's giving in. Like say I eat dinner and then I think I'm done and I close my eating window. Well, then there's an opportunity to go get ice cream, or my mother-in-law makes a delicious dessert and drops some off. I'll change my eating window and incorporate whatever it is that I didn't plan on eating And then my eating window goes from maybe 45 minutes to 2 hours and 45 minutes. It doesn't bother me though. Like that's the flexibility of fasting, and I like that. I change my hours. My whole eating window reflects the entire time. And there's impact of that because then to get my 18-hour minimum, I go to the next day. But it's just like, oh, I thought my eating window was going to be shorter. Something's occurred that makes it longer. But I don't think of that really as like I'm triggered. It's just like, oh, opportunity I didn't know was going to be here was here. Or say like we drive by Culver's and their flavor of the day is something that we really like and we didn't realize it, like, oh, that would be a great stop, or, whatever the reason. That kind of stuff extends my eating windows longer than I thought it would, but I have no sweat off my back. I just have my eating window longer. And then when I start my fast is just later in the day. But the only time I've ever considered myself like triggered and like, oh my gosh, was that Little Caesars time. I can remember it vividly. I was at Menards because we go to Menards and then Little Caesars, same plaza. And I just felt like, screw this. I don't want to do this. And I don't even know what put me in that mood. I just was so disappointed. So that's been very helpful in me not doing that. Let's see. Potato. I have figured out how to do one meal for the day. Open my eating window at 1 and have a fermented smoothie to hold me over to dinner. I've lost 4 pounds over the month. I love that. That is perfect. That smoothie, I 100% think that's a great way to go for OMAD. And even if you ever tell someone that and they're like, that's not a one meal a day, who cares what other people say? I 100% think that can be like your appetizer, dinner. If you have dessert, go for it. But I love that. I think that is a great way. I've actually thought of like still skipping breakfast and lunch, but then like, what would it be like if I had a 3 o'clock every day I open my eating window with like a thought of something that I love. It has to be food that I love. That's important because I won't stick with anything. But to make sure I'm like getting fiber and protein, but be intentional with foods that I love, kind of like the nuts and the cheese, but like every day, make sure I do it and still have whatever I want for dinner. Still have dessert if I want. Just see what it's like if I have like a 24 OMAD daily. I don't know. We'll see. I have lots of thoughts. I think about things all the time. Oh, thank you. It actually kind of snuck up on me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's June. And then we had the half day and we are going to lunch. And I was like, I need to get this on the calendar. Let's see. Natalia said, I find the last 2 weeks before my period is a lot harder to fast, but I also don't want to eat 2 meals as I can eat a lot. So trying to figure out that balance, but 2 weeks is so long. Wow, 2 weeks is quite a long time. I definitely get that feeling 100%. But mine is more like a couple days before my period. It's really intense. And I've just leaned into it. I read the book Fast Like a Girl. I do not follow her cycle syncing because, one, I don't have a regular cycle. I do not have like this day to this day, and then I can expect it 1 month later. Not at all. So that doesn't work for me, but also I don't want to not fast. Like for me, because it's a consistent routine, it's easier for me to stick to. But when I have those days, and again, it's not 2 weeks, so this isn't going to be as helpful. I just my minimum for myself is 18 hours almost every single day. That's my goal. That's what I try. And so if I'm very hungry and I can tell my period's coming, I'm like, you know what? This is natural. Like my body is literally feeling hungry. You do this all the time. This feels different. At 18 hours, if I need to, I will have a snack, even if it's hours before dinner. And that's okay with me. It's like my body's telling me I need to eat more. I eat more. There's like, it's so consistently right before my period that I'm not making it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that I could do that for 2 weeks, but my very intense, like, oh my gosh, is like a couple days before. And then I just have longer eating windows if I feel like I need to, or I try to stay busy. Those are my two. You're welcome. And thank you so much for being here. Whew. Thank you for answering my question. I'll try it. You're welcome. I don't even remember what it was. That's not because it wasn't important. I just can't keep track of things. I do love chatting with you guys, though. I promise that. Love your videos. Oh, thank you. Nails by Lula. Hey, girl. Jennifer Down says, after 5 years of fasting, do you still fight food chatter sometimes? I don't honestly really think so. I feel because I compare it so much to what I felt like, I still can very much remember what I felt like dieting. It feels so um freeing by comparison that even if I like yesterday knowing we were going to lunch, I looked at the menu several times to think of what I was going to get, but that was more just like trying to motivate myself like this won't last forever. You're going to enjoy tomorrow, your up day. That's kind of more what I do is like excitement about what is in my eating window, but I don't really deal with, even I've been eating a lot more junk food from the Sweets and Snack Expo, making videos on different snacks. I don't have a hard time not beating myself up about it because part of me knows this is temporary, this phase. I do love snacks. I just don't eat them as much as there have been in my eating windows. But it's also fun to do something different. It's fun to try different snacks and explore different things. So I don't know why, I have a very easy time not really beating myself up over the, but that's because I'm comparing it to Diet World and I never want to go back there. I literally was always looking to like not feel like I did when I was dieting. And then when I found fasting, I was like, yes, I'll take it. Nails by Lula said I had a hysterectomy a few years ago. It was the most painful recovery. I'm a little afraid because I've heard similar. I also had my tonsils out a few years ago and heard very similar, like it's really painful, and it was actually really painful. So I'm not expecting it to feel great. The wonderful thing is I feel like it was a very like God orchestrated timing because the surgeon schedules out so far, but they had a cancellation and it really works out because we have a few vacations. We want to go to Milwaukee for some baseball games in July, and then we're going to Disney in August. And it works out really well because all my kids will be home. I have 2 teenagers. They can like do everything for themselves, help with the dog. I can literally rest. Will we all be bored? Maybe, but I can still do it. So it's nice that the kids are home and the cancellation allows me time to recover before like going to Milwaukee. I'll be 4 weeks recovered, which will be nice. Like I'm not fully recovered, but I'm also not going to be weightlifting there. I'm just going to a baseball game or two. And then for Disney, I should hopefully be really or fully recovered. And so the timing came really well. I don't expect it to be easy, but I have the ability to lay around and just let it be. I can get up and walk, get whatever they tell me to do in without feeling like, the kids are at school, they have to be picked up. I need to coordinate all the million things. We'll get through it. So pray for me. And I'm sorry yours was really painful. Hello, Steve in Dearborn. JJ's Custard. Janice says, can I fast for 20 hours and have an eating window for 4 hours? Absolutely. That is 100% a wonderful pattern. My advice to you would be if you're full at hour 3, don't feel like you have to keep it open for 4 hours. That's never a need. Also, if you need to extend it to 4.5 hours to accommodate something fun or that you want to do, don't be afraid to do that. I also, on the same tune, wouldn't do it every day you eat at 4 p.m. and you close it at 8 p.m. Your body can kind of get in a groove. So it's good to switch it up a little bit. Let that flexibility make it work for you. But yes, I think 24 is a wonderful schedule. And honestly, to me, that still seems pretty close to OMAD. And sometimes my OMAD is like a 20-hour fast and a 4-hour eating window. Hey, Karen, how are you? How did your 3-day fast go? It was awful by comparison. Like, I enjoyed many parts of it. I'm proud of myself. I'm glad I did it, but it was very hard by comparison. Congratulations on your 5-year fast anniversary. Woo, almost there. Thank you. Oh, Bluey Camp. Okay, Kieran's daughter just got out of kindergarten and summer transitions are interesting. But Bluey Camp sounds so fun. My kids are too old. I never have watched an episode of Bluey, but I have a feeling it probably would have been one I'd like. So I hope you guys have a wonderful summer. But thank you, Karen. Good to hear from you. Sunflower says, best wishes for your surgery. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I agree. Fasting in any variety is better than not doing it. And 20 is like wonderful. But yes, any fast could be wonderful. Dion, sorry Sorry, I'm probably saying it wrong. Hi, I do the same fasting as when you transition from keto to plant-based vegan. In 2020, I kept fasting like keto lifestyle. Very cool. I think it's wonderful that you can do any single diet within the eating window and it can work for you. You don't have to follow certain this or that. You can make it as easy or as regimented and planned as you want. And I think that's awesome. Yes, I do love my Element. And I know I'm sponsored by them, so I'm always hesitant to bring them up in a non-fasting video because I don't want it to seem inauthentic, but I legitimately absolutely love my Element. I look forward to it. I love it. I really love the new lemonade flavor. It's so good. Let's see. I do a 17, 18-hour fast nonstop. Dr. Eric Berg explained the importance of fasting. Bible fast too. Very cool. I definitely have looked into Dr. Berg many times. I think I have a few of his books. I wonder if he has a YouTube. I think so. Sunflower says, I've been fasting for 5 years in August. Only one in my family. Have fasting friends. Everyone here makes everything more joyful. I absolutely agree. It definitely makes things more joyful. And we're like on the same 5-year track together. I love that. Let's see. Karen says, I caught your live late. Positive vibes on your surgery. I didn't realize it was so soon. Thank you. Yes, it was kind of last minute schedule. Or I got very lucky with them scheduling. They were like, hey, it's either October or later, but we also had this cancellation. And I was like, I'll take it. I really do feel like it's amazing. Like, I'm actually really grateful that it happened really quickly because then I don't have a long time to worry about it. And I really didn't want to recover during the school year. That sounded very hard. Let's see. Lemonade Element with green tea tastes like an Arnold Palmer. Ooh, good to know. Elsie loves Arnold Palmer's, but I have a feeling I'd like that. I just love the lemonade by itself so much. I don't know that I want to even try it another way. That sounds silly, but I love it. And then last comment, and I'm going to go because this lasted for a full hour. Let's see. Anonymous says, hi from the UK. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. I will definitely be live next week. I will not on the grocery channel. Again, that was kind of accidental that I set that up. Not kind of, it absolutely was. But I have been talking about it in my grocery hauls this week, so it'll be fun that it was there. But next week it'll be back on my fasting channel only and YouTube, or not YouTube, the Facebook page for Intermittent Fasting Foodie. So very, very fun to catch up with you guys. Thank you so much for the May break. I needed it, and I look forward to being live with you guys again. Have a wonderful week. Ciao, down, and ciao. And anyone that completed their 72-hour fast, I'm so proud of you. Woohoo! Round of applause. Oh, wait, there's another. Going into surgery with low inflammation isn't it for, that's funny. Intermittent faster is the best. And yes, being so soon allows you to not be in your head too much. Absolutely. I like that idea. Like, yes, I'm not going to go in being super inflamed. That is really actually a great point. I actually thought about doing a down day into the fast just because I have to fast a little ahead of time. I'm getting there pretty early the next day. And I was like, you know what? I'd probably just feel better. We'll see. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. Peace.